Things are heating up in the acoustic IR world with more options, more products coming out all the time. The Tonedexter came on the scene about 5 or 6 years ago and totally changed the game with a pedal that can create an IR using your guitar and a mic in order to get you to that ever elusive goal of a more natural amplified tone. Does it work? My answer has been, and I think still is, yes. And we'll get to the and later, but first, let's check it out. What in the world is happening underneath this red metal box? Is it magic? Is it sorcery? Not really. It's more science and engineering than fairy dust and secret spells. It's taking your amplified sound, your pickup, whether good, great, or average, or less than average, and it's making it sound more like what your guitar sounds like for real, as loud as you want. It does this by creating an impulse response, an IR, or what Audio Sprockets calls a WAVEMAP. You plug in your guitar and a microphone, and you go through an incredibly fast and simple training mode on the pedal. You can use any mic you have on hand, They recommend a flat frequency, small diaphragm condenser microphone, and that's what I use for this demo. It is dead simple and it sounds great. The company recently released their 2.0 firmware, and I think it's made a huge difference. So what's new for 2.0? Well, most notably the WAVEMAPs are more lifelike. They are more natural sounding, and I find they don't need as much EQ as earlier versions. Also, this notch control is doing some really incredible work. In the training process, the pedal is making note of the resonant frequencies that are likely to cause feedback issues. And it's very precisely and musically turning down those frequencies as you turn this knob up. It is easy and it really just does a great job. True confession, this is my third time buying a Tonedexter, and I'm trying to decide if the third time's a charm or if it's more of a 3 strikes and you're out situation. I've been following the progress of Tonedexter since it was a Kickstarter campaign with a pre-production model that had this complex EQ section and some other bells and whistles that didn't end up making it into the production model that we have now. And I bought a Tonedexter very early on. I was really impressed when I was making the WAVEMAP, but in the end it didn't meet my needs in the settings that I was playing at the time. And so I let it go. At that time, Tonedexter didn't allow you to blend in the original pickup with the WAVEMAP, and this is how I was used to using IR. It's how I've used the Fishman Aura with like an IR blended in at 25 to 40% at most. Then the 1.3 firmware was released and they started offering a wider range of blending. And so I bought another one and I tried it again, and it still didn't quite satisfy me enough to keep. The WAVEMAP I made with it required a fair amount of EQ, and the pedal itself only has a bass and a treble adjustment. I just wasn't totally satisfied with the sound when playing live. Then Audio Sprockets released 2.0 somewhat recently, and I kept reading about it and hearing all these positive reports, and I had to try it again. This thing with 2.0 or actually 2.06 at this point is greatly improved in my opinion. I think a lot of the things that didn't work for me in the past have evolved and they've been adjusted and they sound noticeably better. The true test for me will be in a venue through a PA. It really has come a long way. And this highlights one of the huge strengths of digital gear. I'm usually much more of an analog kind of guy. I like tube amps and analog circuitry, but the ability to make updates and allow a piece of gear like this to get better and better is really fantastic. And the updates also reveal that Audio Sprockets as a company is committed to continuing to improve upon a product that has and is continuing to change the game for acoustic amplification. So remember when I said yes and? Here's the thing. This does add a dimension and a complexity that you get when using a mic with your guitar. It makes your really direct sounding pickup more like it's in a room with space to breathe rather than sort of jamming you in the eye like some pickups tend to do. it does in fact alter the sound of your pickup to be more mic-like. I think a lot of people say that's what they want. They think that's what they want, but I'm not sure it's really what people actually want. And it all depends on what pickup you have, the kinds of environments you're playing in, if you're using it just strictly for live shows, or if you're using it also for recording or live streaming over the internet. I think your context is really important when you're deciding on a piece of gear like this. I am on this particular journey for myself. My hope is that I can simply show off what it does and talk about my experience with it in order to help you make a more informed decision and decide for yourself if Tonedexter is for you. For me, in the way that I see myself using impulse response at this point, I'm still on the fence about it at all. I happen to really like my pickups, and I'm not aiming to totally transform them into something else. I am looking to enhance them and improve upon them. I'm looking to eliminate a few of the things I don't like, but also accentuate the things that I do like about them. And this can be done in a variety of ways. EQ, compression, analog saturation, reverb, and IR is one of these tools. I also don't plan to use IR to record. I personally still think a mic is a better option. And I don't do much with live streaming, where I think this pedal has huge potential and really does shine. I'm looking to improve what my guitar sounds like plugged in to a PA in a room with a bunch of people in it, in the context of playing both solo and in a full band. I'm looking for a piece of gear that works in all those kinds of settings. So, does this work? Yeah, it does. It works really well. It's simple to use, and with the 2.0 firmware, it sounds great. Is it for you? I can't say. I can't even say if it's for me at this point. I will say that I think it is an incredible innovation that has grown and shows no signs of stopping. I think James May and the fine people at Audio Sprockets have made a great piece of gear and have definitely pushed the needle closer to a world where all acoustic guitars sound amazing, amplified. Isn't that what we all want? All right, thanks for stopping by.